DUI injuries and vehicular homicide cases are now at their highest levels in a decade, a growing threat that claims hundreds of lives in LA County each year. Well, now the district attorney's office has secured $2.2 million to help fight this problem. LA County DA Nathan Hochman, he is here now to talk about this as he gets ready, by the way, to mark 1 year on the job. We will get into that in just a few minutes. Thank you. You're here exclusively tonight. We appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure.
Let's start with this issue of DUI injuries and also felony DUI cases that are on the rise here in LA County. And unfortunately, as we head into the holiday season, as we do each year, despite our warnings on the news, we see more and more of these cases. What's behind this surge?
So what's behind the surge, I think, is the feeling that drivers have that they're not going to get the law enforced if they break it. The message I'm sending, the warning that I'm sending is a two-pronged warning. On enforcement, we got the funding to both work with law enforcement to go after the DUI drivers that cause great bodily injury, the DUI drivers that cause death, and generally the DUI drivers that engage in these type of felonious conduct. They're going to get arrested, they're going to get prosecuted, and they're going to get punished. We have a DUI training and prosecution section, DTAPs. These folks should remember the name DTAPs.
Okay.
DTAPs are some of the most sophisticated DUI prosecutors in the nation. In fact, they teach other prosecutors how to do these cases. They take the most sophisticated cases against these felony drivers who engage in DUI conduct and either hurt someone or kill someone, and they bring them to justice. We're also engaging in an education effort, targeting basically not just the older folks, but the younger folks, the 16 to 30-year-olds. We have a program that goes into the high school called Every 15 Minutes. It actually simulates in front of a high school what happens when you engage in this type of drunk driving behavior. You end up killing someone. They simulate the accident. They simulate the people who die from the accident. They even simulate the court proceedings of what happens in court. The idea is to teach young people at that age the seriousness of what can happen. Whether you're engaged in drunk driving or drugged driving, either one can lead to a result that you do not want.
Now, I mentioned a $2.2 million grant. Will that help your DTAPS program? Where will we see changes, or how will that enhance and see a drop in these cases? And is $2.2 million, I mean, it's better than nothing, but is that enough when we're talking about an issue like this?
We could always use more, but we're going to use that $2.2 million to both hit the law enforcement aspect of it, to make sure that the law enforcement officers, when they bring us these cases, they have the resources to do it, and make sure we have adequate prosecutorial resources that when they do bring us these cases, we can bring these people to justice and bring a measure for justice to the victims that suffer from this.
All right. Well, I hope that the teens that you hit on these, when you do the 15 minutes, every 15 minutes, I hope that it resonates with them. Another big issue is gangs, and recently we covered this. 5 MS-13 gang members were recently convicted in a major murder and racketeering case. The details are horrifying. These details of the murders are horrifying. The suspects are in their 20s and 30s. Thank goodness these people are off the streets. What are their convictions? What do they say about the fight against these violent gang members and the violent gangs within the county? How is that helping your office?
So these are very sophisticated cases. In fact, the trial itself was a 9-week trial. But it shows the partnership between local authorities and local prosecutors, state prosecutors, and federal authorities as well, to combine to go after such a violent street gang as MS-13. The murders that they were engaged in were absolutely heinous. One individual got stabbed 107 times. Again, we basically cut the head off of one of the divisions of MS-13. There's a lot of other divisions we're going after, and we want to send a very consistent message to these gangs, whether it's MS-13, whether it's the Rancho San Pedro gang that we basically charge 8 members from, whether it's the Rich Roland gang that out of South LA that committed 91 residential burglaries, and we brought 8 of those people to justice. That we're going to constantly go after the gangs organized throughout this entire Southern California area, and we're going to bring them to justice.
Sounds like this is just the tip of the iceberg then, is what you're saying.
It is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
But it's a strong message that we're able to send to be able to get these type of convictions of life without the possibility of parole for convictions against the head of these organizations.
Yeah. Those 5 MS-13 gang members, they will be sentenced in summer of next year of 2026. Welcome back, everyone, to the Fox 11 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Marla Tejas. Our exclusive conversation with LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman continues now. A new state law just signed last month makes it easier to prosecute anyone who threatens or intimidates victims and witnesses. And tomorrow, Southern California leaders will come together to talk about what this means for victims and survivors. And DA Nathan Hochman, he is here back with us now. All right, let's get into what your message is tomorrow, because you will be there, as mentioned, with other leaders, including the city attorney of Los Angeles and one of the authors of AB 535. What is AB 535?
So AB 535 was designed to increase the protections for witnesses and survivors, because prosecutors cannot function. We cannot bring our cases unless the witnesses feel secure in coming to court and testifying. Often against, it could be family members, it could be friends, it could be people who have threatened them. And the same thing with victims, that we have to make sure that they have a level of protection, that if there's anyone who goes ahead and tries to intimidate them or interfere with their testifying, or any witnesses testifying, that the criminal penalties are very clear that they can be imposed against these people who engage in that type of obstruction or interference. AB 535 provides that extra level of protection for witnesses and victims to come forward.
Because there can be the chilling factor on this, where people just don't want to come forward. Absolutely.
I mean, if people feel that we cannot protect them and we cannot penalize people who go after our witnesses and victims, and the witnesses and victims will be hesitant in coming forward. That doesn't work for criminal prosecution. We have to make sure we get them into court, get them there safely, and go after anyone who tries to interfere with that process.
Well, it was just over a year ago that you were officially elected, so we're about to mark 1 year of you officially being in office. As you enter year 2, what are your top priorities in terms of public safety and rebuilding community trust as it relates to the criminal justice system?
You know, we identified 6 priority areas when I came into office, and we are working still on these 6 priority areas. They're going after fentanyl poisoners, the #1 killer of 18 to 35-year-olds. We're going after human traffickers. We're going after hate crimes, homeless crime. We're going after residential burglaries and organized retail theft. We've made some great inroads over the last year. Proposition 36, for instance, has helped us go after 2,400 different individuals who had 2 or more theft-related convictions and went ahead and did the 3rd or more conviction. We now can bring felony prosecutions and keep these folks in jail rather than the catch and release that existed before. We've seized literally kilograms of fentanyl, enough fentanyl that has enough lethal doses to kill everyone in Los Angeles County many times over. We have seized that and gone after the fentanyl poisoners with some of our toughest laws. Same thing with human trafficking. We're going to the corridors of human trafficking, whether it's Figueroa or Hope Street in Los Angeles, whether it's Western Avenue in Koreatown, whether it's in Pomona or Long Beach or in the Valley. And we're taking it to the human traffickers and the pimps. We're also going to go after the Johns, the people who pay for the sex, because we need to go after the demand side as much as we go after the supply side. And that's in addition to, hopefully we won't have any wildfire crimes, which we had this year.
Right.
We're hopefully out of the price gouging and the looting aspect, but there are still financial scammers. There's still unlicensed contractors that are coming to Los Angeles and the Eaton Fire area, and we're going to go after them as well.
Obviously, your supporters would applaud you for getting rid of the special directives from the previous regime there, right, with the former DA. Out of time, but I want to get your thoughts. What do you think your biggest accomplishment is so far?
The biggest accomplishment is making sure that the DA's office is now open for business. We've restored the trust amongst my own prosecutors. 98% of them had voted to support the recall of my predecessor, Gascon. I've reestablished that partnership between law enforcement and the DA's office, and we've resumed our role as being the champion of victims again.
Well, you've done a lot of work. We're appreciative of that. Public safety is a huge issue for every person who lives in LA County. And to that point, there are 10 million of people who live here. So thanks for the good work that you do. And we're going to make this a regular thing where you're going to come back and you're going to talk about these issues that people really care about. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
LA County DA Nathan Hochman.